One.
Greetings and welcome to Africa Online Media Corporation. It is another Sunday. It is actually the last Sunday in the month of February. You know, February is the shortest month in the year. So it has 4 Sundays, but they are shorter than in other usual months. Whatever it is, we are welcoming you to the program because we cannot fail you. We've hardly failed you. We've failed you once or twice, but we want to be sure that you are out there because Africa Online Media Corporation is your show. Welcome. It is raining out here. It's been raining since this morning, and we hope that it's better than snow. Yes, for many of us, the rain is better than snow. Whatever it is, our program has to roll. And here we go. February the 22nd, 2026. That's the 53rd day of the year 2026. So we still have 312 days to go before we start bidding 2026 goodbye. Today is the 8th Sunday of 2026, and it is the 64th day of winter. Yes, 64 days of winter have gone by. That leaves us with 26 days before we see spring. The spring, which is the beautiful season. Whatever it is, the green and flowery days of spring may hardly have an impact on the health of a Black person or any other person for that matter. However, in a world that injects skin color into almost everything, seeing skin color in our health may not be unusual. How we eat, what we eat, and at what times of the day we eat that food may be greatly impacted by the color of our skin and the type of neighborhood in which we live. Our environment and how we relate to that environment also has an impact on our health, and the Black community knows it just too well. With just over 13% of the total United States population, the question that comes to mind is what percent of that 13% population participates in clinical trials before medicines are assigned to the population? Without due clinical trials, the Black population is certainly not receiving the attention it should when it comes to prescribing medications for diseases. Are the medications properly tested to the chemistry of the Black physically built person, or are they tainted because there is a hidden agenda behind it all? One is tempted to think that medications and treatments are generally not tailored to the physical and anatomical needs of the Black individual. If that is true, which is my assumption, then how do the medications impact individuals and the general population, that is, the Black population? As someone has put it, addressing these issues remains huge, a huge issue which the entire Black community should seek to understand and to raise awareness about, because we need to encourage ourselves to take the medications that are suited for our bodies. Addressing these issues is a huge undertaking, which again requires the whole of our Black community to encourage quick action on. We are all advocates for matters of Black health. So, the chair of Africa Online Media Corporation, Reverend Pam, will welcome all of us, if we are more than 2, to the show, so that together we can discuss Black health matters. Reverend Pam, good day.
Good day. One of our doctors need the link again, so that's what I'm doing. But thank you so much, Nia Song. Our co-anchor, Ambassador Lisa, decided to become a Black health matter today. Oh my God. She decided to become a Black Health Matter. So uh, I don't know what else to say about that, but our doctors will be joining us soon. Yes, this is the last Sunday of Black History Month, and we'll be discussing Black Health Matters, and I want to welcome Uni Song to the program on behalf of Africa Online Media Corporation. I want to welcome all our viewers, those who are watching live on YouTube and those who are going to watch on Facebook, and as we wait for our medical experts to join us, we are going to be discussing Black Health Matters. Ambassador Lisa is not the only one that decided to become a Black Health Matter today. But let me not confess anything. So, Niason, you are pretty healthy. As long as I've known you, you've never been sick. I think just once, and it was the flu. So, tell us, what is your secret?
No secret, just living the best I should and eating the right foods that I should eat, especially Bangwa foods, which are very, very environment friendly because we harvest from the bush, we cook and we eat, or we harvest from the farm and we cook and we eat. And even when we go to the store, we don't just buy anything. We are careful about what we buy and we're careful about what we prepare. That said, I have no secret. I just live. And the good Lord takes control of the rest of my life.
Well, Nia, so you must be doing something right. So I just want you to share it because especially with somebody as young as you are in great health. So what is it that you are doing? You must be doing something.
As I said, there is no particular thing I do. I know I eat at the right time.
Good. That's one of your secrets.
I try to make sure I take breakfast. Try to make sure when I get up, one of the things I don't fail doing is drinking a full glass of water for a start. Then I eat something. Very often I eat an apple at least before I eat any other thing. And then during the day, I don't go snacking here and there. I just wait until dinner time. My dinner time is between 5 and 7.
Awesome. So you don't eat late. You don't eat late.
I don't eat late.
So those are
in the Cameroonian community, it's difficult to say you don't eat late because sometimes you are tempted at some occasion to eat late because they eat late at that occasion. All the same, I try to stay as far away from it as I can because I don't have to force myself to eat something which will help, which will destroy my system or which will hurt me tomorrow or overnight. So that is how I do it.
I mean, I'm glad you are sharing that. Not eating late, make sure you sleep well at night, and you don't have incident spikes at night. Do you drink or smoke?
Well, Guinness is my favorite drink, if I can confess that.
Oh my God!
But I don't overdo it.
Okay.
Do it. The highest I can take is 3 small bottles of Guinness, which are not as much as taking the quantity I used to take when I was in Cameroon, because we had only big Guinness where we were. Not that we had only big Guinness, we had small and big, but many of us, because we were who we were, we tried to drink the big ones.
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure. Yeah.
I will never understand why people drink beer. It's not sweet. It's not my thing. Anyway, since 2001, I only drink water. Once in a while, I may drink a juice, but not. But do you smoke?
I don't smoke, and I don't drink hard liquor. I don't drink hard liquor, yes.
Well, so you are doing things that your future self would thank you. I want to welcome Dr. Sholette Josuel. Thank you so much, Doc, for joining us. And we are discussing Black Health Matters, like we promised last week, and we are definitely excited to hear what you have to say about Black Health Matters. Is the topic today.
Welcome, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Pound. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for inviting me about when it comes to Black Health Matters. Here's what I want all of us to remember. I call it the brain's evolutionary journey, okay, into modern life. What I mean by that, Dr. Pam, everyone, We need to understand that the human brain is still adapting to no way of life. And everyone, when we get up, we need to understand the relationship our brain has with the fight or flight and rest and digest and the level of cortisol in our brain. What I mean by that, the brain has been designed to stay on the fight or flight in case of danger. It's great for us to do the 15, 20 things we have to do. But because we have changed the environment so fast, what I mean, guys, we have changed the environment so fast. We've only had cell phones for 30 to 40 years. The brain is still trying to adapt, meaning that if the cortisol level stay elevated for more than 24 hours, it's creating chronic inflammation. We know now more than 90% of human illnesses come from chronic inflammation due to elevated cortisol. Now, what do you and I have to do about that? It's really 2 or 3 times a day to understand we need to transition the brain from fight or flight to rest and digest by self-care. Mindful self-care is indispensable. That's what allows us to decrease cortisol level, then to make sure that we can thrive. So I will stop there a little bit
Okay.
and later on if we have questions, but thank you.
Thank you so much. I have a question for you, but I want to acknowledge Dr. B. Tazel, who has been with us for almost 10 years. March will make us 10 years on the air. Dr. B, thank you so much. Before I ask Dr. Cholet a question, I want you to give your own take on Black Health Matters. That's a broad topic, so you can address any aspect of it. I know for sure you being a lifestyle medicine expert, preventive hair, dermatology, you have a lot to say. Dr. B, the mic is yours.
Happy Sunday, family. Thank you, Reverend Pam, and thank you always for giving us this opportunity to just share and to learn and to grow. It's always a privilege, and as I just live longer, I'm not that old yet, but every day that I live, I just realize how much of a blessing it is when God allows you to learn stuff because He wants you to bless other people. And so we are all beneficiaries of other people's knowledge and experience and opportunities and abilities, and we want to also give back. So I think, if I want to talk about Black health, I have to address it from many standpoints. For example, here in the US and then in the world at large. The truth is that, okay, in the US, the Black person has always been going through a lot, the Black and brown people, but Black people, I think they've been at the bottom of the rung where they have gotten a lot of not so good treatment, and it seeps all the way into healthcare. We've heard all these things. Black women are more likely to die when they have babies. Black babies, premature Black babies are more likely to die. But they found out that if they are taken care of by a Black physician, they are more likely to survive. Even the way that they measure things, for example, kidney function and so on, they measure it based on race. So that just a lot of things, pain management, they assume that Black people don't feel a lot of pain. And if you think back, this comes from the plantations where they felt like we could endure a whole lot more. And you'd hear people say, Black don't crack, so many things that we are resilient, but we are not, we are human. And we need to get that through our minds. We need to get that clearly. But because of the history that Black people have, not just in America, I was just listening to something the other day. They were talking about the Holocaust and so on. And the Holocaust did not start with Germany. The Holocaust, there was one in Africa with Prince Leopold and the Belgians and even Germans. Before they ever did what they did in Germany, they did it in Africa. When Germany was in control of a lot of those countries in Africa, they killed a lot. They killed and maimed a lot of people. They took a lot of Africans there. They used to put them in cages and let people admire them like zoo animals. They use them for their experiments. That's why we have the Nuremberg Treaty now, where you don't do stuff to people without notifying them and without them saying yes. So all of these things stem from the ills that have happened to us. And the reason I even talk about it is because if you don't understand history, you're going to be at the mercy of a lot of elements. The reason Black people don't have access to good healthcare, one, is because of we've been historically disenfranchised, but also Black people just don't trust the system.
Yes.
A lot of Black people don't trust the system. In a place like Louisiana, I don't know if you remember during COVID, there was a family that lost 3 people at the same time, 3 brothers. And when this lady came to talk about it, she said in a place like Louisiana, Black people would not go to the hospital unless they are actively dying because in their minds, these people are going to kill me. If I can stay out of the hospital, I will do whatever I can to stay out. I'll only go there when I'm extremely desperate. And so when they go there at the tail end of their illness, of course they're going to die, right? And it feeds into the paranoia, like they're going to kill you in the hospital. So we have to be mindful of that. We have to be mindful of what is affecting our people. There's the poverty part, there is the historical part, there's the distrust, and so many other things, and even things that are still happening nowadays. We saw the cases of women who were pregnant, actively in labor, and they got thrown out of the hospital. We saw those cases recently. So this is nothing new here. And so I think that when we discuss Black health, we need to keep those things in perspective, but also find ways to help Black people circumvent the system. For example, with Black women and having babies, back then they used to have a lot of Black midwives, and it was basically something that was born out of necessity. If you read the history, the Black women were not willing to help them in the hospital, so they had to figure out how to help themselves at home. So they had all these Black midwives who would go into the homes and deliver babies, and so they were very good and very experienced. But as soon as the time came, they changed the rules again, and so all those Black midwives got pushed out of the system. Black medical schools got closed. I think we need to understand history, because a lot of people don't know what's going on, and they keep judging people that are already suffering, people that have already been trampled upon. We need to approach it with a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, a lot of sensitivity, a lot of kindness, and also just a way to empower and educate people. Because if you can help them see the system differently, if you can help them take better care of themselves, they don't need the system half as much. And that's why, to me, lifestyle medicine is not just a gift from God, but it's a gift to level the playing field for everybody.
Thank you so much, Dr. B. Well, we cannot blame our people for the lack of trust, because I think it was the syphilis studies, was that in Tuskegee? You know,
yes.
I mean, that's just one of many
things.
Many things that you know, makes it and still, I mean, made it and still makes it difficult for our people to trust anything. Even let me come from a standpoint of a pharmacist. A lot of the medications that they give our people, in my many years of doing medical missions, as a head of a global medical missions, number one diagnosis is always high blood pressure, followed by diabetes, number two, and then cholesterol. Sometimes I say they are like a family, husband and wife and a child. They go together, and you will not believe, whether we do it here in Houston or in Africa, the diagnoses are the same, the trends are the same. Yeah, there are a lot of our people going around with high blood pressure. They don't realize it. Some of them have been diagnosed, they don't take their medications, they end up with a stroke. Some of them die. There are a lot of them going around with crazy blood sugar levels, 400 and higher, and they will not stop eating fufu, even though there are a lot of substitutes now, like cabbage fufu and all that stuff, eggplant fufu. But this is the thing: a lot of our people don't volunteer or enroll in clinical trials. So most of these medications that they are putting our people on were never tested on Black people. So it doesn't even work. It's not that effective on our people. But then there's also a problem with compliance, because some of our people, they treat high blood pressure medications as PRN or as needed medication. but it was not prescribed as it's not a Tylenol or ibuprofen that you take when you have pain. Don't take yourself off the blood pressure medicine because you took your blood pressure in the morning and it was normal. You decide to take yourself off of a maintenance medication. So our people also have to be responsible. They need to take control of their health. I'm going to tell you this. I don't like taking medication. It has nothing to do with being a pharmacist. Since I was a child, I had this phobia that the pills would go down the wrong pipe. And that phobia has stayed with me. And I thank God that I'm not on any medications. And I thank God, and I'm declaring that I will never be on medications, even at 110. But we do have people that don't like taking medications. We do have people that don't care. It's not that they're afraid of taking the medication, they just don't care. You know, they pick it up from the pharmacy, and they just, I think it's to fulfill all righteousness and to be happy that they actually picked up their medications, but they don't take it. And nobody is responsible for that. They are responsible for their health. They have to be accountable. The goal will be to get off medications, because I'm going to tell you this. I don't care which manufacturer is claiming that a medication doesn't have a side effect. 100% of the medications have side effects. Once you take that foreign object into your body will react to it. Some of them have more little side effects than others, but don't let anybody fool you that there's a medication that doesn't have any side effect. There is. So don't be fooled about that. But I'm just saying that you do your part and let God do the rest. Don't just sit and say, oh, you are claiming you're healing. God is not against medicine. He created medicine. St. Luke was a physician. He gave the doctors the know-how and scientists. So don't sit at home and be claiming you're healing and not take medication. You're going to die. Yes, God is still in the miracle working business. I'm a testimony. God healed me from migraine headaches in April 1996. And to today, I've never had even a regular headache. But before I got my healing, I was on Imitrex injection. I used to carry it around with me because that was the only thing that took care of my migraines. So our people need to learn to take control of their health and take their medications. Let me go to Dr. Crossley. You're welcome. We are discussing Black Health Matters. The mic is yours, then I'll have a question for Dr. Cholet.
Reverend Pam, can I just make a comment about medications? Because our people need to be aware of this.
Of course.
I'm happy that you brought up the thing, but something else, this has been going on for a long time. We have to get on our own feet. Number one, as you said, the goal is to not be on medications. And number two, if we're on medications, we need to make ours. There was a Indian pharmaceutical industry that was sending the lowest quality medications to Africa.
Oh, yeah.
And when they asked them, they didn't care. They basically said, those are black folk, they're inferior. They can get whatever. That's exactly. And then there have been so many cases. There was this other guy, again, one of these Indian pharmaceutical companies. The guy said, I will never, ever give antibiotics from my company to my child because I don't even know what's inside. And recently, they even started doing it here. Like a lot of these generic anti-cholesterol medications, they actually had to suspend them at some point because they were not getting the right quality. So we really we're in a desperate situation where we have to take control because nobody is really going to do it for us. We have to take control, and we have to take control of our health and also the things that we need to protect our health.
See, Dr. B, you don't even get me started. I spent 5 years working with Nigeria's NAFDAC, that's their FDA equivalent. We're working on compounding and counterfeit drugs. I have all those videos on VHS. But what you are saying is not just an Indian company. There are a lot of them in India and China that send counterfeit drugs to Africa. Counterfeit drugs could be a drug that doesn't have the correct amount of active pharmaceutical ingredients, the API, which is worse than a drug that doesn't have any active ingredients. I'll tell you why. I'll behave myself because this is a topic that I can talk on for a whole year and not take a break, but I'll tell you why. A drug that, let's say an antibiotic, that doesn't have the active pharmaceutical ingredient. Let's just say an anti-malaria drug. By the way, I'm a co-developer of an anti-malaria drug that is registered with the NAFDAC and a certified anti-malaria drug. But an anti-malaria drug that doesn't have the right active pharmaceutical ingredient in there, you give it to people, or people take their money and go buy it. Guess what? They will develop resistance to the malaria strain, whether it's Passiflorium or any other strain. And then when they get really sick and they give them the accurate medication, they already have resistance. It doesn't work. That's why it makes it more dangerous than the placebo. So these people, let them run their mouth. Prior to Big Pharma coming to Africa, we were making our own medication. In 2009, at the National Hospital Abuja, we did a presentation when we were trying to present the doctors with compounding as a solution to counterfeit drugs and out-of-stock syndrome. Out-of-stock syndrome is where you actually have the money to buy quality medications and you cannot find it. It's out of stock. That's what it's called, out-of-stock syndrome. But the Minister of Health in Nigeria at the time, I think his name was Babatunde Osetimeyan, something like that. He actually was very excited about it because he said, yes, 40 years prior to that, we pharmacists were making our own medication, and we need to get back to that. Prior to this call, I was moderating a global summit where one of the speakers there was talking about medicinal plants, and he just got me so excited because we have a lot of those plants in Africa. Dr. B, there's a place in Mutengene, I think it used to be called Plantecam, where they make medication. I never went inside, but I think they were producing medications there. Even when our people get sick back home, they used to do this, it's a version of aromatherapy where they'll put different barks of trees. I don't know which trees because I'm not a herbalist or a traditional medicine doctor, but some fever grass, maybe pawpaw leaf. I don't know all the ingredients that went in there, but I've seen it done. I've never been a beneficiary of it because me, I cannot, there's no way you put a boiling pot in front of me and put a blanket over me and I will stay there, not me, but it worked. These people, you will see them sweat out of malaria, and sometimes they drank it, and it worked. What am I saying? We are capable of treating ourselves, and it's time we go back to that. Let's stop blaming the Indians. Why are we ordering prescriptions from them? It is true, most of the medications in this country come from India, believe it or not. But when they are shipping stuff here, they know they have to deal with the FDA. But they ship nonsense to Africa, and some of our politicians and government officials are getting kickbacks from these killers. I was telling someone not too long ago, and I always say this, that, excuse me, these counterfeiters are more dangerous than armed robbers. Most armed robbers will not kill you. They come with a gun or a weapon, and you give them whatever money you have or jewelry, they go and they spare your life. But with the counterfeiters, you use your own money. You are sick, you are desperate, or a family member goes and purchases poison, and it kills you either instantly or slowly. So in my opinion, counterfeiters are mass murderers and serial killers. And it's about time we get back into making our own medication and stop looking down on made in Africa or African medicinals, because our foreparents used those things and they worked. But let me hear what Dr. Like I say, I'll be in myself, because this is a topic I'm very, very passionate about. As a matter of fact, that's what I'll be discussing in Accra as a panelist on that Saturday morning. But Dr. Crossley, we are discussing Black Health Matters, and I would like to hand the mic over to you.
Thank you, Her Excellency, Dr. Pam Fomenung, for this platform, and to the staff and to the global audience in the keynote today. I yield my mic to Dr. Joshua. Not only is he my best friend, but he knows a whole lot about what I've been speaking to him about. So I want him to speak on my behalf. Go ahead, Dr. Joshua, please.
Okay, Dr. Crossland. So, guys, we need to say a prayer for Dr. Crossland because she's been going through some rough time. And just like Dr. Pam, she probably cannot don't want to talk about that. She had an emergency dental surgery. And if you hear her voice is low, because she's had to go to the emergency room. And she's
Dr.
been through
Crossley,
some
I'm
rough
going to
time.
call you later. I did not know, but
Mhm.
you are healed in
So,
Jesus' name.
so she's she needs our support, and so I've been talking to her, and so but we appreciate that crossing. So she's on the pain meds, so she's not doing well.
Okay.
So Dr. Pam, I'm glad we're saying that. You know where I'm going to now? I'm going to the alpha and the omega, what God calls, is our brain. Our brain is how we connect with God. What we need to do as Black people is to commit to do a brain prevention first. What I mean by that, our mind is our soul and spirit. If we can get up every day, reminding our mind, we're connecting with our brain, and we connect with our body, then we can find a collective. The way Africans we do well is by community. We come to a system that have individualized us. What we need to do is reverse that. We need to make sure that we see ourselves as a part of a whole. That's when most of our healing can only come.
Thank you, Dr. Shalette. You know, I want you to address psychosomatic illnesses. It happens a lot on the continent and also in our community. We are discussing Black health matters. I don't know if this happened in Haiti, if you experience it in
It does.
Haiti or not,
It does.
but I know, for example, on the continent, you know, we have these older ladies, grandmas in particular. When they see somebody taking a medication, they also want it. They don't really care what it is. They just feel like, oh, this person is taking it, let me take it. It would do me good, you know, and we don't even know how many people have died from that. You know, just taking medicines. And then also, a lot of our people self-diagnose, especially in Africa. There are people that take acetaminophen or paracetamol, as it's more common there, they call it Panadol. Here we call the acetaminophen Tylenol, that's the brand name. They take it for anything and everything. And there are people that take, and that is the reason why Panadol is still highly counterfeited because of the volume. Panadol is so cheap, but it's highly counterfeited in Nigeria and other African countries because people buy it a lot. So the counterfeiters still make a lot of gain from the volume. So I want you to address psychosomatic illness, and Dr. B, I want you to address self-diagnosis and self-treatment. Dr. Jolette.
Yes. So I had a very experience when I was born in the Bahamas. My parents took us to Haiti. My oldest sister, she had an episodic seizure. You know, I realized what's going on. Psychosomatic. It's a dysregulation between the mind, brain, and body. It's triggered by chronic stress, elevated cortisol. That's all it is. Psychosomatic, psycho, the brain, somatic, the body. It's a dysregulation between the mind and the body. I'll give you a perfect example. I can realize when my dad died, I was 7. My mom started having high blood pressure because her cortisol was high. So this morning when we get up, the first thing we roll out of bed is to take some deep breaths and pray to connect our mind and our brain. Anything that dysregulates in Africa, any stressors, poverty, lack of safety, that dysregulates the mind and the brain by elevated cortisol, that's what psychosomatic is.
Do you need a minute, Dr. Shola?
No, yeah, no, I have this young man. No, I'll come.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Look, I'm surveilling, I'm mentoring some young boys who are my girlfriend children.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, but that's right. They call me to study. I'm at Panera Bread. You get what I'm saying, Miss Dr. Pam? Psychosomatic is a dysregulation between the mind, brain, and body, which is not normal. But anytime we stressed out, anytime we don't have psychological safety, physical safety, it throws the mind, the brain, and body. And I keep repeating that. We need to approach life that way. That's the only way healing can approach. The mind, which is the soul, the brain, and the body. Questions, guys. So this is why I wanted to tell, especially Black women, what we're talking about Black Health Matters is to take control of our humanity, to empower yourself that you deserve good health, to manifest it into reality. Basically saying that to be okay that you are perfectly imperfect. You don't have to be resilient. Let's take those words out. Resilient, a strong Black woman, it's a trick to kill you. Your strength is in your vulnerability. Find 2 or 3 people that can allow yourself each other to be vulnerable.
Yes.
Then you don't have to do things that I know I didn't know that until I paid almost $80,000 to learn this from Black women. I didn't know these things until I started talking to Black women, that you are not allowed to be vulnerable. Just like
Yeah.
Dr. Crossley. The reason you, Dr. Pam, you were sick, you couldn't tell people. Dr. Crossley, this week, because you're not allowed to be vulnerable. I call her several times, how are you doing? Stuff like that. If I didn't call her, oh, well, she called me, but we're not allowed that. We need to allow Black women, all of us, to create psychological safe space. Because if you have that, then your cortisol can be decreased. If your cortisol can be decreased, then you can rest and digest. If you can rest and digest, you can lower. The goal is to prevent illnesses. Then you won't have to take medication.
Yes, you're so
Okay,
right.
I'll stop there.
No, you're so right. And one of the things people don't fail to people fail to realize is that the mind is very powerful. It's the center of our reasoning, our thought, our will, our feelings. And if you make up your mind every day that you're not going to entertain garbage, you're not going to entertain negativity, you're not going to entertain things that depress you, or even listening to negative news, even on television. There are things I don't watch on television because I'm not going to let somebody I don't even know or somebody who is not important to me interfere with my peace. Because people don't understand. Dr. B or Dr. Shola, you guys can elaborate on this, but once you get those negative energy or input, your body starts producing free radicals, which are crazy. And then you're talking about inflammation and cortisol. All those things affect your well-being. So I want to encourage our people. Get up every morning, make your lead thought, the controlling thought be, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You're going to stay in good health. Proclaim and declare things that you want. I'm not trying to preach, but Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. People don't realize how powerful the tongue is. It doesn't have any bones. It's a hydrostat at the floor of the mouth, but it can break bones. It can send people to an early grave. But more importantly, it can lift people up. A few years ago, I wrote on Father's Day, I was ministering, and I wrote this declaration called the Tongue Pledge. Having people sign that they will use their mouth and their tongue to lift people.
What happened? Hello, are you with us? Dr. Gloria, if you have the...
Hi, Professor Neosan.
Yep, Ambassador Lisa is not here today. And
I'm not your pharmacist, but I'm going to tell you this.
Okay, now she's come back. She's come back. It's all right.
What happened?
You broke out. You broke out. We're not hearing you. Or I was not hearing you.
Okay, well, I don't know what happened, but I think my thing is off. So you just go ahead, Nia Song. I think the connectivity here is not good. So let's go to Dr. B while we're trying.
Hello.
Dr. B, over to you. Yeah, Dr. B.
Yes, Reverend Pam, I'm going to address the ones you talked about, self-diagnosis and self-treatment, but you're right. In Proverbs 22, the Bible says, a joyful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. And everything has shown, research has shown, for example, when people have a heart attack, their countenance affects their ability to come through. Many illnesses, because you basically speak into your body what it is. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. Don't ever let anybody fool you. People act like, oh, we don't know what the spirit is. There's a human spirit, very strong. And your spirit guides the way your body flows. And so we need to be mindful of what we feed into our spirit and how we project our spirit to our bodies. If you keep talking down at and to yourself and negatively and everything else, that's exactly how your body is going to behave. And it's funny when Dr. Sholette was talking about the psychosomatic thing, because you see, we have a lot of situations where people come into the hospital and after a while, you kind of figure it out, Somebody comes in, oh, I have a headache, or this is really hurting. And once you talk to them a little bit, you realize they're just really stressed out. They wanted a break. They needed to get away from the people around them. And they just came and the hospital was their safe haven. And so, and sometimes they actually feel those things, but there's no real cause for them. It's basically their minds projecting onto their bodies.
Exactly. Psychosomatic.
So we have a lot of that stuff going on. People that have been through a lot of things, they tend to project. And I'm so happy that Dr. Cholet talked about what he said, because it's not just women, black people especially, we have been taught to not respect our bodies by the systems in which, even in medicine, by the systems in which we find ourselves. A lot of doctors get in trouble before they even realize. When I was in med school, there was this guy who came to teach us about colon cancer, and he told us that he was a colon cancer survivor. And he said there was this young doctor who took care of me. He did my surgery. He said, "What happened to the doctor?" He said he died of colon cancer. The doctor that was doing colon
Oh
cancer
my
surgery.
God. Oh
Because
my
guess
God.
what? You're taking care of everybody and you're ignoring your body. We ignore ourselves because they've taught us
Exactly.
that way. When I was doing training, if you got sick and you called out a day, they'll make you go to the EDs. Like, I don't feel well. I come in every day. I'm here long hours. If I call in one day, why can't you just let me be? But they'll make it look, they want to prove that you're really sick. So a lot of times we're sick and we pretend that we're not sick because we're just trying to push through and get our training. It's same thing. All of the things that happen, especially with black people, we have a history where we're not allowed to be human. You had to keep working until you drop dead. You had to keep showing up and showing out. And so we knew that we had to do what we had to do, and we've carried on, and we need to break those cycles because those things are not human. That was not God's intention. That was not the plan. We were being exploited.
You are so right, Dr. B. When I got out of pharmacy school, my first job was a supervisor. I've never worked as a staff pharmacist in my career. My first job was a supervisor at the largest pediatric hospital in the world. That's Texas Children's Hospital.
Wow.
I was on salary. Guess what this African workaholic was doing? I would do 10 days straight, 14 hours.
That's crazy.
I changed so many things. It's like I had to fix this. And Texas Children's is the primary residency site for Baylor College of Medicine in Houston. When those residents come, because at Texas Children's, part of our job description there was to train the physicians, the residents. So if there was an error in any medication or whatever, you were responsible. Because if the resident makes a mistake or the doctor, we were supposed to catch it. But I'm saying I had no business working like that. I only needed to work 7 days, 12-hour shift, 7 on, 7 off. And then after 5 years, I went to Park Plaza, which was the AIDS capital at the time. And now coming from a high-end hospital like Texas Children's Hospital, which was a state-of-the-art facility, going to to Park Plaza. They've changed the name multiple times. I think it went from Park Plaza to Tenet to HA or whatever. It was like night and day. Here I would even gown to rearrange the shelf. I didn't need to do that. The technicians could have done that. It was not my job. I changed the entire code blue box because at Park Plaza at the time, we pharmacists were the ones recording the code, even though we're not there when it happened. So you have to ask the nurse what happened. In addition to giving medications, you have to record it, which was not the case in Texas Children. But I'm saying that the African dedicated woman in me wanted to change everything. I even did a pocket book for pharmacists to help them during code blues with all the medications that were there and the right doses and all those things. But I said this to say, Dr. Cholet, and I really thank you for reminding us that it's okay for us to rest. It's okay for us to be vulnerable. We don't have to be superwoman all the time. Even when I was sick, I was always on this program. Nielsen will tell you that Ambassador Lisa did not know that I was dealing with colon cancer. She found out in New York, and she went and bought a card, came to my wrote. He said, "You are my hero." I did not know. I had no clue. I was not showing my face on the program, but they did not know what was going on with me. But I wish I knew what Dr. Josette had reminded me this time, Dr. Josue. I did not need to be on the program. But I kept logging in to record, kept logging in. And even when family members are sick, the brunt of the care falls on us, the women in the family. Even from young ages, some of us women, we take on responsibilities that we have no business taking care of. And the day you are not able to take care of it, the people that were benefiting from it, they will think you did something wrong. They get this sense of entitlement as if they are entitled to your sweat, entitled to your qualifications, entitled to your bank account. So it is so important that we women realize that it's okay for us to take a break. It's okay. You don't have to attend every single activity. If your body tells you rest, rest, because our body is the biggest thermostat. For about a period of 1 year, my body kept telling me something was not right. I knew I had systemic inflammation. I knew that I would see blood in my stool. I just thought it was constipation. But it is so important that we tell, especially our women, that it's okay for you to take a break. It is okay. You don't have to do everything. Even the mothers, you don't have to be the one that bathe the children every day, get them ready for school, cook. In Africa, for example, Dr. Josette and Dr. B, a mother and a father, they will go to the farm to work, right? The woman may end up even doing more of the gardens, the bed, what they call those things, the bed where you plant, what they call it. I'm not a farmer. Didn't have the opportunity to farm. But I'm saying that then they will carry stuff and walk back home. When they get home, the man sits in the living room and crosses his legs, waiting for the woman that just came from the farm with him to go and cook and come and serve him. Are you kidding me? Wives, I'm not telling you not to serve your husband, but I'm saying that it is okay for us to take a break. Dr. Jose.
Reverend Pam?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, Dr. B, go ahead, Dr. Jose, we'll come to you.
If I just wanted to throw in something there to support, because I really like for people to see how a lot of things play out in life. So because women have taken it upon themselves to carry on all these things. Part of it is cultural, part of it is for some reason we've been trained that way. We need to start talking about women setting boundaries. There's nothing wrong with boundaries. Boundaries are protective. They're not inhibitive. They're protective. For me to be around long enough to help you, I need to protect my health and my physical and mental health.
Exactly.
We need to start changing expectations. So I refuse to let anybody box me. I refuse to let people put me in their situations. And there's something funny I do, right, Reverend Pam? Like when I go to places now, I know some people are going to be upset with this. They say, "Oh, like my in-laws will say, our wife." I said, I'm married to one person, okay? Because I need for you to get that straight, so you stop putting pressure on me.
Yeah,
Don't do that. And I'm setting
right.
expectations. I correct people, they get upset about it, but I'm just like, listen, I want you to know from the get-go, I'm not going to play this game with you because I don't want you to burn me out. You guys burned our mothers, our grandmothers, and all those. I am not going to get burnt out. I've learned from them. We have nothing to prove to anybody. The only thing, and the Bible says it, be under obligation to nobody. The only obligation you have is to love other people.
Yeah.
And love does have boundaries. So we should love people, but we also have to love. You start with loving yourself. You love God and then you love yourself, and then you now know how to love other people. So we need to put that in perspective. And I think I'm looking back now, I think there's something that I see with a lot of our African mothers, a struggle with control issues. That's why they come in and disturb, because they are so used to being in control and in taking charge of everything, they don't know when to stop.
Yeah.
So when their kids grow up, they bring this behavior into their homes and they still feel like they need to control, and it affects so they work hard, they invest in their children, and then when they get older, they get angry because they feel like, why won't you let me control you? And I'm like, no, I don't want you to control me anymore. I'm grown. You're still my parent, but they're so used to being in control and in having the say and just sitting on everybody. And we need to realize that this is part of the continuum of this behavior and we need to put a stop to it.
You're so right. And those expectations, I would say in our society, many people, not all, have insertion and insertable demands, especially on women.
Yep.
They will send you to an early grave if you don't draw a red line. So I want to encourage every woman out there, protect your peace. Because the same people that you labor, sacrifice for will be the ones who send you an early grave. They want to control every aspect of your life. They want to tell you where to shop, what to eat, where to even worship, who to hang around with, what to do. But you have to draw a line and protect your peace, because these things, they affect you more than you go to bed and you can't sleep because you are thinking about this person did this person say nonsense. Shut all that external noise out and the internal noise. Don't put yourself under pressure like, oh, you have to do this for this person, you have to do this for this person, you have to do. Putting undue pressure on yourself affects your body, increase your cortisol level, like Dr. Joshua always say. But I want to, Niason, you've been quiet. I hope your grandson is not disturbing you. Do you have any questions for either Dr. Joshua or Dr. B? You're muted.
You're muted.
You're muted. You need to unmute.
Yeah, I had to go upstairs because my grandson was beginning to sing his favorite song.
Yeah, so, I muted you. Sorry. So yes. Go ahead.
Okay. So I don't know where we are, but Dr. Josue, tell us more about this black diseases and what should we do to stay safe?
So look, when we say I was safe, I'm glad Dr. Bam, Dr. B, what we need to do every day we get up, the habits we need to have is to connect yourself with a higher power, to empower yourself that you deserve rest.
Yes.
It's not easy, guys. You know what I realized what makes stop Black women also? You cannot do it by yourself. Recruit 1 or 2 people to do it with. Because you have people coming against you, just like you're saying. When you've been cooking for people for 6 days, you've been doing things. People around you don't want you to change behaviors and habits. Of course, you're going to die. They'll walk around you, they'll get their fried chicken. By the time you won't be cold, so it's not easy. So what you need, Mr. Nielsen, is to make sure when you walk from bed, you do your mindfulness, your prayer. But the other thing, what we're talking about, Dr. B, is self-kindness, self-compassion.
Exactly.
That you're okay to be perfectly imperfect.
It's
daily. Make it as a mantra. Mindfulness, prayer, self-compassion, healthy boundaries. You know the way I say, if you're not paying my rent, there's so much I'm going to listen to you. Give me some money first. If you can give me any money, you know what I'm saying? So, Mr. Nielsen, so then the other thing what we need to do is manage your genetics. If you know you have found a history of some kind of cancer, high blood pressure, you get up every day, you manage your genetics by making sure that you get up every day, you do things to reduce the chance. Manage what you eat. Manage your environment, healthy boundaries. But you know how we do that though? Is attach a list of core values to the higher power. When I say by a list of, you know how you show up in the world. The reason why we want to do that, the brain doesn't want to do things that are not easy. You know, everything we're saying here, we need to rewire our brain, the people around us too. We need to tell them, can we rewire our brain together so we all can create space, safe for us to live, to thrive. The people around us closest to you, I'm going to leave guys, the people closest to Black women, we need to have a conversation with them to say, how can we align ourselves on a set of core values so we can all have space for ourselves? Questions, comments?
But there is this, but there is this, yeah, but there is this thing among our people, self-denial or denial in general of what others tell them or of what their doctor tells them. Why do they not listen to their doctors? What is going on? Why can we not listen?
No one listens to anyone. Here's what you need to do. Find 1 or 2 people closest to you to make sure you create your space. We can worry about, it's a chain reaction, right? If you and I, today I was just talking to my girlfriend, we got into an argument. You know what I did after that? I called. I said, look, let's understand each other. You see what I'm saying? Then if we both can understand, if you, the people, your sons, your children, your grandchildren, Mr. Nielsen, make sure that your grandchildren, you inculcating in them core values. You know why? Then they don't go out and choose someone that's against the family core values. That's creating safe space. You get what I'm saying, sir? So every day we get up, just like we eat, we need to say mantra with our core values. How do we show up in the world? When people ask me, I said, the way my uncle raised me, you mind your own. He said, the best defense, mind your own business. Don't people, places, and things that do not align with your core values got to be, you don't stay there for long, or you create your space. You say, I'm not talking about that. We cannot make people do what they don't want to do.
Exactly.
But what we can do, what we can do is align ourselves and create our boundaries, and we can live, we can thrive. Go ahead, Dr. B.
So that's interesting when you said that. I think one of the things that I'm pushing more and more for, I do a lot of teaching on lifestyle medicine, and I need to do more because I really want us to be able
Well,
to
we need to get
put,
together.
we need to serve because
Yeah.
one of the things that I'm pushing for is in our culture, what do? We actually put the burden on women.
Mm-hmm.
We train women to be good wives and good. How many times do people take time to train men to be good husbands and good this and good that? Men are
Not
just like,
never.
okay, it's like you buy this nice quality car, you get a Lamborghini, and you give it to a drunk who doesn't have a driver's license.
So guys, here's what I'm suggesting. Dr. Pam, Dr.
Mm-hmm.
B, what
Yes,
I'd
sir.
like to do, 90% of my patients are women. I told them they're not the one I need to see.
It's a
Here's what I'd
man.
like to, let me tell one thing we'd like to do. I'd like to partner with you guys to create a course to have a conversation with our men, our boys, our young men.
Mm-hmm.
Not talking at them. Talking at people doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'd like to take on that. By the way, I do want to say that I have a course I'm creating, Dr. B, for
Yes.
vitality and wellness for Black women, vitality and wellness for Black men. And I'm creating a course, how to make more money as a function of the health of your brain.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to ask you guys, this is difficult, okay? Because I'm in my clinic, honestly, Dr. Pam, when Black men show up, I'm tired. I'm tired, honestly. I'm telling you,
Dr. Joshua is a champion for Black women. Oh God.
you know one thing?
We
I'm
need
in
more
awe
of
with,
you. We
you know
need
why?
more of you in the
I'm in
world.
awe with Black women. You know why? When I tell them to bring a notebook and a pen, even they don't believe me. I say, what is that? They still bring it.
Yeah.
Do you know I never believe in what I'm saying here until I saw Black women changing their mindset. I actually never believed in neuroplasticity until I saw Black women who are dealing with things for 28, 30 years. Meaning that,
Mhm.
you know what I said? If Black women don't get a pass, then none of us gets a pass.
You're right.
Guys, Dr. B, we can do that, right?
Yeah.
We can sit together, Dr. Pam, to create a course, to create
Mhm.
a forum, to have a conversation with our men, because they're loving people
Count
too.
me in.
We
Count me
just
in.
need to have that conversation so we all can thrive. And I'm saying this because look, my mom died at 53. She didn't have to die. At that time, we didn't know what to do. But
Mhm.
what I realize now, if Black women don't live, then I cannot live too.
Yeah.
We need to have our men to have that attitude so we can do it. So I'm saying because we all can thrive. But thank you. So if you guys have any questions.
We are coming to the top of the hour. I want to just read something. This is something that I shared 2 years ago, and it recently popped up on my WhatsApp. I don't know who the author is, but I'm going to read it as received. I said, if numbers in mathematics were allowed to speak, some will accuse 0 and 1.
Hmm.
Why accusing 0 and 1, you may ask? Any number multiplied by 0 gives you 0. For example, 20 million times 0 equals 0. 0 can bring down big numbers to nothing. Some human beings are like 0. If you associate with them, no matter how great your value is, they will bring you down to 0, not me, of
Dr. Pam,
course.
I'm taking this, I'm going to trademark it.
No,
No, I'm
I'll
kidding.
forward it to
No,
you.
I'm
I'm
joking. I'm
not the
joking.
author. I don't know who sent
I know,
this
I
to
know.
me
No, I know, I
2
agree.
years ago. But then here it is. And any number multiplied by 1 remains the same, unchanged, no matter how big it is. Example, 20 million times 1 equals 20 million. Some people are like 1. No matter how they touch your life, you remain the same. You will never grow. You will not improve. You just remain where you are. Now, here's a question for you. What kind of person are you? And who are your associates? May God separate us from everyone carrying the spirit of 1 and 0. May God also help us to grow and be greater than 1, so that when we touch the lives of others, we will add
Amen.
value. Stay blessed
Amen.
and be a blessing to others and to every organization you belong to. This is so profound. I've gotten a lot of feedback, Dr. Jose, I'll send that to you, where everybody has shared that too, and it is so true. Anybody who knows me, I'm not talking about people who think they know me, you know, I don't allow any negative energy near me, no poison, no toxin. If you don't have any positive things, stay away. I'm not breathing the same air with you. You know, there are only 24 hours in a day. I spend 16 of those doing what God has called me to do. I'm saying this to say there are people that are hindering spirits, enemies of progress. When you are doing the right thing, they will find faults. When people don't like you, no matter what you do, they will find faults. Even when you die, they will be complaining that you didn't die the right way. So forget people and focus on what God has called you to do. And avoid all those 0 people and 1 people. If you are the biggest person in a tank, get out of that tank. You are in the wrong tank. Because if you are the biggest fish in that tank, guess what? Everybody is drawing from you and you are not learning anything. I don't care how smart you are, there's always somebody smarter than you. I don't care how much money you make, there are always income streams that you don't know of. So as we go into the top of the hour to play our anthem and announce our next topic, I want everybody to respond on that thing I just read. Like, again, I'm not the author. I don't know who sent it to me 2 years ago, but I recently came across it and I shared it. So let me pull up our anthem, and let me see here. Where's our anthem? So when we come back, everybody will take a turn and respond to what I just shared. Okay, here is our anthem. Hold on a second. Let me share this. Our co-anchor, Her Excellency Ambassador Lisa Parks, decided to become a Black Health Matter today. Since we're discussing Black Health Matter, she decided to be sick today. So let's also keep her in prayers. You know, just a minute here. I want to share the sound. Oh God, give me a second here. I want to share our sound. Give me a second. My computer is a bit slow. Okay, well, while I'm waiting for this to happen, I'm gonna make the announcements for next week's topic. Okay, here it comes. Next week, the month of March, we normally dedicate it to women. The month of March. So next Sunday, Niason, take note. We're gonna be discussing the contributions of Black women to society, to the household, to the nations, and to the global economy.
Oh, Africa. Oh, no.
Yeah, so can you get that?
Yes, it's fine.
Africans for Africa. 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 Africans have many bright ideas. If only you let us share. If you really want to know my history, please come, sit down, listen to my story. God gave us a wisdom. He guides our footsteps, makes us shine and transform. Hey, as one people, with so many cultures, yet indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us all unite behind AfricaOnline Media Corporation. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. It's time to come together, promote awareness, progress, and solution. Hey, Africans for Africa. Africans for Africa. Africans for Africa. All Africans Africans can rally for a common cause, to believe without judgment in what our brother does, to identify and resolve our challenges, to allow each other's ideas without regard to standards. As one people with so many cultures, yes indeed we are one. Stand up Africans for Africa. Let us solve all the problems plaguing our continent. Stand up Africans, let's save Africa. Let us empower Africans in and out of Africa. Stand up Africans for Africa. AfricaOnline Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up Africans, let's save Africa. They have all the resources we need to benefit our society. Oh. Education for everyone. If we believe prosperity for Africans, if we believe medical facilitation for Africans, if we believe stand up Africa, yes, for Africa. AfricaOnline Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up Africans, let's save Africa. Africa is a cradle of civilization, the motherland. Stand up Africans for Africa. We were enslaved not because we were weak, but because of our hospitality. Stand up Africans, let's save Africa. Jump on the AfricaOnline miracle jet. Don't be left behind. Stand up Africans for Africa. Together we shall succeed. Together we will win. Stand up Africans, let's save Africa. We are writing our own story, the truth, and we shall tell it to the world. Stand up Africans for Africa. No more lies. Africans own Africa.
No more lies. Africans own Africa. Our co-anchor ambassador, I did stop sharing. Hold on a second. Our co-anchor ambassador Lisa, that is her favorite song in the whole wide world. She loves that song, and I know she's probably listening to it at home. And I wrote that song about 10 years ago under the anointing, and it was performed and recorded by our very own DJ Skipper, aka Goldfinger, aka Jerry Cleo Tamfo. Next month, we're dedicating it to women. We are going to be discussing the contributions of women in the household, in the community, and the globe. And Dr. Cholet invites some of those your women to come on this program and tell us what they're doing. We are honoring women in March. I think March is also International Women's Day. I believe so.
Yes. Okay,
Good.
so I'm going to invite a bunch of them and some of my.
Exactly. So I want you, Dr. Cholet, to respond to the 0 and 1, the WhatsApp
Okay.
I read, and then I want to
Okay.
hear from Dr. B, and I know Dr. Crosslin is not able to speak, and I want to hear from Nia Song before I hand the mic over to him.
Okay, so here's one thing I need us to remember I didn't say. Do we know that more than 90% of human behaviors and habits are unconscious? So the brain is like a 1090. Okay? The access, what we have to access to make decisions, like we have to get on Zoom, is 10%. It's like a conveyor belt. But most of the 90% is what that governs our lives, right? So what we need to do, the 20 time to the time zero, you need to ask yourself, I need to ask myself, every day we get up, how can I align my core values with a higher power in myself? Alignment with yourself, but guess what? The second thing, the people closest to you, your family member, anyone, they determine whether we thrive or not. You have to ask them if we can align together. A lot of us are living in a household we're not aligned. We don't say that. Everyone's doing their own stuff. The only way you can thrive, one is the first part is you. Get up every day, align yourself with your creator and your core values. I mean the core values because the brain doesn't do things easily. The way to make it do things are not create the habits and the behaviors. You have to attach it to value-driven loop. Then ask the people closest to you, can we align together on some core values? Then anyone who wants to come around you, mean that people, places, and things every time, every moment, ask yourself, is this aligned to my core values? If it doesn't align your core values, you're not going to thrive.
Thank you. Dr. B, I know you don't have any zeros and ones in your life. So what is your remark about what I read on that WhatsApp? Because I don't know who the author is, but kudos to whoever that is.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody in this life that doesn't have all those different factors that they have to deal with, me included. But I think, in addition to what Dr. Josie just said, I think also there are a lot of things that we have to factor in. For example, you have to understand your purpose and you have to learn to manage your expectations. For example, people that are zeros and one, who knows, maybe one day some of those people may become a one or a two or a three. So I don't want to completely give up on them, but I understand who they are. That's what I'm saying. Understand your purpose.
And you know how to manage them.
Exactly.
And Dr. B, what I mean by that, you have to understand your core values.
Yeah.
If you don't understand your core values, you cannot know where to go.
Exactly. So when you have these people in your life and okay, I'm here to help this person, you package the time that you're going to use to help them and help them. Understanding that this is basically me sowing into somebody's life and I'm not expecting anything in return. If it's a one person, you have to learn to manage your expectations. And there's this gentleman in New York, Dr. A.R. Bernard. I don't know if you know him.
Is he a pastor?
He is a pastor. That guy is, when he preaches, it takes a while for you to digest it because you keep breaking stuff down. And he talks about managing your expectations. And I remember when he came to my church in Maryland to preach, that really, really had a profound impact on me because when you learn to manage your expectations, you change your level of frustration and you change your level of productivity. If you go to a one, don't expect a 5 from them.
But you know what it means, Dr. B?
Yes,
don't
sir.
give people what they cannot give you back.
Or don't expect something of
that's what
somebody
I'm
they
saying.
don't have.
Exactly. Why don't we not say this? Zero expectation principle. I live by that.
Yeah, we saying the same thing.
That way,
but you also, but you also, I know women around me that are giving to their kids in their 20s and 30s the same thing they've been giving them to 15. I say, you're gonna die. Yes.
Dr. Josue, I know of some that they are still giving to their children.
Here's what I tell them. Here's what I tell them. When I tell them, I said, look, what I'm telling you is not theoretical. They say, what do you mean? I said, it happened to my mother. I said, you know what? I can help you. I can help you to rewire your brain to create the space you need for this thing that they cannot give you, for you to retain for yourself. It's not easy, right? But we have to keep something for yourself. Then you don't give everything.
Exactly. And that way you also don't become a pain in other people's necks. Because when you give so much, you start expecting so much and you basically suck the life out of other people. You have to give yourself room. So I think we need to start looking at it that we are trying to create balance. If I don't create balance, I'm going to live an imbalanced life. And one of the things that I'm also thinking in my life now is I believe in sustainability. Life is supposed to be sustainable. If you're
Yes.
doing something and it's not sustainable, you have to have a plan to stop it quickly, because either
It's
you're going
not
to stop
working.
it or you're going to be forced to stop it.
It's imbalance. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Guys, one thing I want to suggest, I did a talk for a group of men. You know the only thing they listen to? Making
What's
money
that?
and sex. Money and sex.
I know when I
So,
talk to men, it's about sex. Yeah.
but look, we can create a course. I did it. How to help African men to be prosperous, how to be healthy, how to maintain a healthy community. Because the problem, half the problem is we have to reach out those men. But anyway, Dr. B, so we're saying the same thing. I'm so excited. What we're saying is that what you're saying is that I tell women, you have to keep something for yourself. It's not easy. You have to.
Yeah.
So that's what we're saying.
All right. I'm going to have Nia Song weigh in on what I read, but then when we come back, Dr. Josue and Dr. B, I want you guys to think about what to tell our Black people about
Yes.
Black Health Matters.
Yes.
Tell our people about keeping their doctor's appointment, wellness, especially women, especially the women on the continent. I happen to have been blessed that at age of 13, my dad got me a gynecologist, not because it was because of severe menstrual cramps. So I had a gynecologist from age 13. But without that severe cramps, I don't think I would have, because the average 13-year-old African girl does not have a gynecologist. But we need to talk to them about the importance of wellness. And Dr. Josue, our men, a lot of them, or some of them, even when they are diagnosed with prostate cancer, or they would rather die than have the surgery. Just general advice to our people, men and women. But Nia Song, what is your take on what I read about people who are 0 and people who are 1?
It's unfortunate that someone should be 0 in the first place. Why be 0 if you're on this earth? So try to be a 1 at least. If you cannot be a 0,
no, not a 1, at least a 2.
You should not be a. No, I understand. Don't try to be a 0. Try to be at least a 1, so that you can add something to somebody else, or to your community, or to your society. Don't just
so a 1 doesn't
negative.
add anything. That's
well, one may not add anything, but at least you are there. 1 is there at least. It can be seen.
Okay. All I would say is that, like Dr. B says, they are everywhere, 0s and 1s, even in families. Just don't let them impact you.
That's right.
Don't let them know who you are, and they can make all the noise they want, but they will not impact you. So let me go to Dr. B. This is not your last round, but just a general advice to our people on Black Health Matters.
So, Reverend Pam, now that you brought this up, I'm going to answer a question that they asked before, because it ties into Black Health Matters.
Okay.
About self-diagnosis and self-treatment.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a reason we're doing those things in the past. People adapt to their circumstances. If you don't have access to a physician or to healthcare, what do? When you have a problem, you try to figure it out and you try to solve it, because you don't really have options, right? But when you have options, you should exploit them. I don't mean in a negative way, but you should make good use of them. So what I'll say with self-diagnosis and self-treatment, not only not having access to healthcare, but also not trusting a healthcare system, find somebody that you can trust and go to them. It's we are suffering from misplaced survival skills. So, for example, you're using the right tools in the wrong seasons. I think about it this way, right? If it's winter, and it's cold, it's snowing, you have a winter jacket. Can you imagine wearing that same heavy winter jacket in the middle of summer? That is not okay. And that's what we do when we refuse to care for ourselves. You're using tools in a time when you didn't have access or you didn't have options. You're using those same tools when you do have access and options, and that is just a mismatch. So you need to remind yourself of that I'm actually mismatching my seasons. I need to step up my game. That's part of what it is, because your body is your most important asset. If you don't exist, nothing about you exists. So sometimes we treat our bodies like options. Those are not options. If your body is not here, I don't care if you have $1 billion in the bank account, aka Steve Jobs. He did
Yeah,
not take care of his
that's an
pancreatic
index
cancer.
fine.
Okay, he did all the Apple thing, but that did not save him, and there are many more cases like that. So your money is not going to save you if you don't take care of yourself. Now you can use your money to get the best quality care and to demand the right kind of resources that you need. Instead of saying, "Oh, I do not trust doctors. I will never let the doctor put their hands on me." Find somebody you can trust. Obviously, there's one or two good people out there that you can trust. And if you're going to go to a doctor, make good use of it. Don't go and then tell them you don't want to listen. It's almost like, you go to a specialist to get something done, and they tell you based on their specialist training, and you tell them, "Oh, it doesn't matter." So why did you even bother to go to them? Why? What's the point? If you're going to take your time and go to a doctor, make sure it's somebody you trust so that you can listen to them, because human beings traffic in trust. Make sure you can trust your doctor, listen to them. And then the other thing is, keeping your doctor's appointment is very important. It's part of proper maintenance. We take better care of our things than we do of our bodies. You can buy new cars, you can buy new houses. I'm not saying everybody has the money, but you can always replace those, but you cannot replace your body. When your body falls apart, that's it. You have to deal with whatever is left. And the
That's
other argument I make is that there are only two ways to fix a problem in this life. There are only two ways: the easy way and the hard way. You can choose, but you're going to fix it. So when you have the easy way, that means you handle things early, you stay ahead of the game, you anticipate, you plan, you can modify, and so on, and that makes your life easier. But if you refuse to do it the easy way, the problem is going to become, it's going to snowball, and it's going to become a nightmare. And when it becomes a nightmare, there's not a good way to fix it, but you still have to deal with it.
that's right. I found out the hard way. Thank you, Dr. B. Well, yeah, so I think we need to take a round because we just have 9 minutes left.
Okay, I will start with Dr. B then, even though she just spoke. Then I go to Dr. Josue and I come to you, and then we wrap it up. But before I do that, let us remember Sunday is Spring Forward.
Oh, wow.
Daytime, what is it? Daylight saving time. So please, Sunday, the 8th of August of March is Spring Forward.
So we're actually going to gain 1 hour.
So if you live in these United States, don't come in at 3 o'clock when we're supposed to start at 4 o'clock. Thank you very much. That being said, Dr. B, it's a pleasure having you. And please, your last word as we wrap up today's broadcast.
Thank you again so much, Nia Song. Thank you, Reverend Pam. Thank you, everyone on here. I just want to remind us that you are responsible for your health. Your physician or your healthcare provider is a professional helper. You're responsible. We can come up with any kind of plan. If you don't follow through, the plan doesn't work. And I make it my business when I see my patients to let them know this is on you. I am here to help you and support you, but if you don't do the work, don't expect the outcomes for the work you did not do. So that includes your health. And if you're going to protect something, the first thing you should protect is your health, because again, your health drives everything else. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Crosslin. We're praying for you. We thank you for being there, for showing your face. And I turn over to Dr. Josue. It's been a pleasure so far and always.
Well, thank you, Dr. Pam. Thank you guys for letting me share what we have to share with our people. So here's what I want to tell people. There are three things we require to live a good life: financial health, good health, mental and physical, and the third one, financial stability. I mean, financial stability, good health, mental and physical, and a healthy, supportive community. They've done a research. They found that more than 90% of human happiness depends on only one of them: supportive community. Well, I tell our people for health, talk to someone, and the greatest gift you can give yourself and the people you care about is to maintain your health, mentally and physically. When I say mentally and physically, make sure that you understand spiritually how to connect yourself with a higher power, that you can create your space. Make sure that you know your core values too, because you cannot blame people for what's going on with you only. You have some responsibility on what's going inside of you. Okay. And the greatest thing that we have now, we have the know-how in helping your brain can rewire itself. So let's have a conversation. How can you and I rewire our brain for our best life? That word is called neuroplasticity. we know how to do it. So just be intentional and mindful about your health. That's the greatest gift you can give the people you care about and yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Pam. The last word.
Yes, I truly want to appreciate you, Dr. Josue. You've added so much value to this program. You are definitely far from a one. You know, Dr. B, you are awesome. You've always been there. You are part of the original medical squad. Thank you for your faithfulness. Next month will make us 10 years doing this. Dr. Crosslin, even with you not being at your best today, you are still here. Thank you for your faithfulness and your consistency. I want to say this on Black Health Matters. Being Black comes with its own societal challenge and global challenge. Don't allow anyone, I don't care who they are, to steal your peace, to cause you stress. Set boundaries and protect your peace. Because if you don't have peace, you cannot be in good health. Protect yourself. There are people who go around distributing high blood pressure, headaches, stress, because they are miserable. Don't. The fact that they are distributing it doesn't mean you should collect. Protect your health. Protect yourself. Protect your sanity. Your body is a temple of the Holy Ghost. Protect it. And more importantly, listen to your body. Your body is the best thermostat. Better than your doctors, better than your lab values, better than any diagnostic imaging. Your body would tell you when something is wrong. I was supposed to have a meeting with someone yesterday, and when I called them, they were not feeling well, but they were still willing to press their way to meet with me. I said, no, your body is telling you you need to rest. I say, rest. And I said, cancel all your meetings for today and listen to your body, because your body cannot lie to you. And this is the thing. If you are pushing your body, let's say it's time for you to sleep, you are a student, and you are pushing your body to stay up and study, what you're going to grasp in 10 hours will be way, way less than what you will grasp in 1 hour of being rested. So listen to your body. There used to be a commercial about texting and driving. It said it can wait. I want to say this, it can wait. If you are busy, you are tired, and you cannot attend something or do something for somebody, be honest with yourself and the person and say you are not able. Especially we Black women. We keep giving and giving and giving, and we really don't receive. But don't wait to receive from others. Receive from yourself. Pour some of that energy, that compassion into yourself. Self-compassion, self-care, self-love, self-attention. Give yourself attention. And keep in mind, the only people you have to please on this earth is God Almighty, who created you in the first place, and yourself. You can never please people. No matter what you do, it will never be enough. So don't even try. Do what you can for people and focus on pleasing God and yourself. Over to you, Niasa.
Thank you very much. Be who you are, be who you were meant to be. Aspire to always reach out to him. If you feel that you're failing or something is getting lost in you, please turn always to him and let him comfort you. Let him help you to find yourself and keep yourself and be yourself. Thank you all very much. And we will see on the first Sunday of the month of